Offer valid on standard browsers, U.S. only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 670. I am your host, Stevie V, holding down the fort with me. Hello, gorgeous Koby Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. And hello, gorgeous, back to you as well.
I love that. That's
so good.
Yeah, a reference to the Hotel George in Cape Town, South Africa, where, yes, you will be hearing me talk in bits and pieces and bringing things that I adopted, of course, while I was away for such a period of time, but still resonating in my mind. And if you want to find out more, I'm doing a diary on the 5 parts of my journey. And when I talk about 5 parts, it was the Winelands, Cape Town, 3 different safari camps, and then Johannesburg at the very end, which is a teeny bit part to make it 6. But you can go to, for free, sign up for a free account. I just posted the first one, patreon.com/tags podcast, complete with pictures on my journey and what it really meant. Because it is one of those life-changing, people always say that, but It's my second time of doing this type of trip, but each time is so different, and I got to experience it with my sister and some very dear friends, and it was really amazing. So yeah, and I just wanted to shout out to Green Safaris. greensafaris.com is who we did a lot of this with, that our dear friend Frank in Los Angeles booked through, and they just put together some really amazing safaris for us. So greensafaris.com if you're looking to, and you can also message me at the end of the show. I'll give my handle if you want more like tips and advice that I picked up while I was on this amazing trip. So
love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But Cody, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. That's right. This is our first show in Pride Month. That's fantastic. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am really excited this month. I think I did a post earlier this morning that basically said these are the times that we really have to show up when we're in, say, an administration that is a little bit more challenging. These are the times that Pride means even more, when things are seemingly, and not even seemingly, they're just being taken away from us. Rights, healthcare, so on and so forth are, not our dignity, because we've got that. But
amen.
Yeah, when these are the times, I think Pride really matters. And Pride, of course, why June? Well, it was Stonewall that started it all off back in 1969. And that was really the reason that we celebrate Pride Month. But of course, cities around the world have Pride celebrations throughout the year, which is really kind of cool too. I know WeHo Pride just had it last week. World Pride is upon us in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, our co-host, was just in P-Town celebrating Pride on that East Coast area. And ours, of course, along with San Francisco, is at the end, June 29th. Here in New York, as well as San Francisco. They always coincide on the same day, which is kind of cool on that. But yeah, I am, to really answer your question, excited because of what it means. But also this year in particular, for the last several years, it happens to fall on my sister and my mom's birthday weekend. They're a day apart, 28, 29. And I typically go home. I will be seeing them a little bit later this summer as I've been away for so long that I've been told by Diego, my fiance, that I am not allowed to leave town.
He better do it.
Yeah, I'm following direction on that. And
Like
yes,
a good boy.
Exactly, like a good boy. And I want to be here. So it is
Yeah.
kind of exciting that I'll be in town for Pride Month here in New York City. And there's always stuff happening. I know you will not be around, but are you excited about Pride Month in general?
I'm so excited. I can't wait to get out there and experience all of the gayness that's going to be going on. And I want people to remember that the first Pride ever was a protest. Pride is a protest. So get out there and make your voices heard.
Exactly. Really good points to remember. And Pride Month can mean many things, as, this really is the year that we're seeing with DEI being implemented and a lot of corporations. I was reading some interesting articles. Target reinstated some of their DEI, but many large corporations like Citibank and so on and so forth are Anheuser-Busch have really pulled away from their funding of Pride events. It got me thinking a little bit, but there was a really good opinion piece out by David Lauterstein. He is the CEO of Nasty Pig. And he says, when our representation depends on a quarterly risk report to shareholders, we must recognize that we are line items in their marketing budgets, not living, breathing human beings deserving of dignity, visibility, and respect. And he's right on that. Some of his advice, a lot of these corporations have pulled away because they really are. They get grants and various funding often from the government and the current administration. And those things are being threatened. It's not as surprising that they would maybe pull back a little bit from their representation or their funding for Pride events this particular year. In some ways, I get it, but his message is also, now's the time to really show up. Like I was saying earlier, these are the times that we really, like you said, it's a Pride March. It was originally a Pride March, and these are the times we have to show up, but support your LGBTQ businesses like Nasty Pig. And there's a slew of other ones that you could be supporting that maybe don't have Citibank's bank account and funding, but you can definitely, I've been staring at some really cool Nasty Pig Pride colors that are really kind of cool, from jock straps to hats to socks. And there's all kinds of ways that you can support local businesses. So I think it's really important.
That's the way to do it. We got to, support our community. And because we know that those dollars are going to somebody who actually is for and by the community. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely good to make sure that these big corporations, by protesting and boycotting, that they are aligned with what is right instead of what is going on right now. But I think that at the end of the day, we should be, putting our money where people that we know are supporting us is.
Absolutely. And one of those supporters that has a trans child, Marlon Wayans, is celebrating Pride Month. Quote, you can be a straight man and still love gay people. He has a trans child, yes?
Yes. I think trans son, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And I think those are the people that we really have to also look out to as our allies that really matter. And there's so many of them. I was listening to Sarah Jessica Parker. There's so many references, and Just Like That, which just kicked off. Are you starting to watch it? The new season 3?
Of Just Like That. My mom is telling me all about it. I am not currently on the HBO Max train, but I'm going to get somebody's login.
Okay, we'll talk after the show.
The show.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was an interesting article or Reddit that somebody wrote in, the older I get, the less I enjoy crowded places. And they were basically talking at 42, they realized that Pride is kicking off, Pride Month is kicking off. Well, it's here. And they said they've struggled throughout the years basically with anxiety, and they're not so sure how they do with huge crowds, and they wanted to get some feedback. I get that. For years when I was younger, of course, I was so excited to go to my first Pride Parade in San Francisco. It was iconic. And I continued to go to ones when I lived in Los Angeles. And of course, the 17 years I've been here in New York City, and I've gone to several of them here and gone to huge festivals. I have, like I said, have not celebrated a huge pride, but it's a good reminder that not everything has to always be in huge crowds. Pride Month is a way to celebrate in your own way. Two of the ways that you can do so is just in your home, stream content. So, for example, I just watched the Jessica Kirson comedian special on Netflix. Do you know Jessica Kirson,
I've never
lesbian?
heard of
Oh
them.
my God,
No.
she is laugh out loud funny. I remember seeing her back in 2008 when I first moved here around the corner at Gotham Comedy Club on 23rd Street, laughing my ass off, had to get my sister to see it, loved her, saw her on a cruise once, went up to her, she was super cool. Well, now cut to she has her own special, but
Love
probably
it.
people have seen her TikTok. She's super hilarious. Check her out, Jessica Kirson. A great way to celebrate Pride. But Mateo Lane, who many of us know, gay comedian, hilarious. There's not a lot of gay comedians that have really have their own specials like Jessica and Mateo Lane. And his just dropped recently on Hulu. It is so funny. I've
I
also
started
seen it.
watching it. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I haven't gotten all the way through it, but I started it. So yeah,
Okay.
he's hilarious. So I can't wait to finish it.
Yes, I was watching it with Diego and my sister the other day, and we were just like cracking up. And so, yeah, I think I get this Redditors feeling that huge crowds aren't everything, and
I've
the
been like that.
anxiety.
Yeah, I've gotten like that as I've gotten older too. But I hearing this and like having it normalized is very, I don't know, healing for me in a way, because I do feel like the older I've gotten, the more I'm not comfortable in a big crowd. But I think I don't know, I want to get back in contact with that part of myself that is comfortable being in large crowds, but not to the certain extent that I was when I was younger. But I definitely don't like the thought of becoming a recluse. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And yeah, and there's all kinds of ways that you can celebrate. You can have small get togethers and brunches with smaller crews of people. But I mean, I get it. Part of the issue too is when you think about Pride weekend is the incredible exorbitant prices that you're probably going
Oh
to
my
pay,
goodness.
the lines you're going to have to be standing in from getting from point A to point B. Point B would be the bar for me, of course. and,
Point B is in bar. Exactly.
don't get in the way of my cocktail
Yeah.
when I'm used to getting it quickly. So yeah, I get it. There's those reasons, but there's just also the anxiety of just, the actual crowd size. But yes, get out there. We encourage people to get out there. But some people that are actually looking at skipping Pride this season, there's been global LGBTQ travelers that are actually skipping America this season because of safety concerns, a hostile political environment, and basically the uncertainty about border policies are causing some LGBTQ travelers to rethink visits to the U.S. this summer. So we've heard things from Africa, from all over Canada, that are really warning people about if you come here, not so much for gay men and so forth, but definitely our trans community
Yeah.
is really ones that, immigration wise, obviously, what's going on here. Do you think that we're going to see World Pride in so much smaller numbers this year?
I think to a certain degree, yes. I feel like our trans brothers and sisters have definitely been warned, or they are taking this very seriously. What's going on in this country right now? I don't like using the word warned, but I feel like they understand the assignment and they understand that maybe I don't know, maybe coming here is not the best look for them or the best idea for them because of the danger that it poses. So I think that maybe we will see that the numbers are just slightly smaller. I don't think it's really going to affect the overall number because, there are still a lot of people that can travel discreetly and safely here to World Pride.
Yeah, I think from an American standpoint, I am on a group chat with a huge organization, and many of them are planning on going to DC. I know plenty many Americans that are going to be making that migration over there, because it sounds like it's really going to be huge and awesome, and you'll want to be there this particular year due to the government. But whether or not the international crowd will make its way here, that remains to be seen. I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll hear more about numbers as we move forward. But yeah, it's an interesting year, but a time that hopefully Americans will be showing up to all of these Pride events.
Are you going to be at World Pride? I don't think I'm going to be able to go.
No, I'm not this year. I mean, I just think with this trip that I just planned, I'll be lucky if I do something here in town for our own Pride.
I'll come over after my shift, because I'm going to be working. So
But I remember World Pride here a few years back, and it was really exciting here in New York City. And
oh yeah, that was fabulous.
They rerouted the parade, and lucky enough for me, it ended right outside of my building, which was kind of cool. They didn't really allow us to walk around outside of our own building, which was kind of interesting, but we were able to kind of go to the roof and look down and see people like Vanessa Williams and a whole host of other people. So as they ended the parade float in front of here. So that was kind of cool. But yeah.
Nice.
Some sad news. Gay Australian adult film star Koby Falks has died at 42. And it just seems like we keep having to report on the loss of some of these adult film stars, otherwise known as Anthony Cox. The gay adult film star lived in Australia with his partner, fellow content creator and performer Sam Brownwell. He was very popular, and he's credited in as many as 76 projects during a period that was a short period when he really got into adult content. And it's, he had a huge following, 126,000 fans on Instagram. And many people are saying during his 3 years working as a gay adult film star, the vast majority of scenes featured Falks, his partner, and with his partner Sam Brown now. So it's just, we sending out love and healing to those that he left behind in this really time. And it's not really known how he passed, but some of the hashtags include mental health matters, it's okay to not be okay, and check in on your friends. So you can speculate on what that could mean, but it's always sad, especially when you lose. I mean, that's so young too.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
That's really sad. My heart goes out to his family and friends.
Exactly. Another shout out to Jonathan Josh, who voiced, I don't know if you ever watched King of the Hill, the animated series. Mm-hmm. He voiced John Redcorn, and he died in a shooting just over the weekend at 59. He was gay and leaves behind his partner, and that it was a brawl that ensued at his house. Yeah, really sad. He was just promoting recently out at a reunion revival of King of the Hill at the ATX Television Festival in Austin. Just right before all this occurred, he died in San Antonio. Authorities came and health professionals to try and revive him, but it was a neighbor that actually shot him. They had a long-standing beef that, and I don't know, in certain places in San Antonio, maybe you can have firearms, but it's being investigated. But again, our thoughts and prayers out to Jonathan Josh's family, friends, and loved ones, including, of course, his partner. So,
What kind of beef would cause? I don't understand.
Neighborly beef. That I don't know. But
cut your grass, is that like neighborly beef?
Yeah,
I don't
know. I know.
What would cause somebody to do that?
I'm nice to all my neighbors, so I don't know. But
there it is.
Right. Okay. Well, OnlyFans, we talk a lot about that and what it can mean for different people that we've seen meant that they lose whatever it is that they're working on. In one case, OnlyFans diver Timo Barthel has won big at European Championships. He is a diver, an Olympic springboard diver, took home a gold medal at the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard at the European Championships just last weekend. He is German. He is also known for creating a OnlyFans content. But there's one thing that he does with his content. It is suitable for work. His words, I think you'll see him in trunks and so forth. But he's been very open, Cody, about doing his OnlyFans content because they have to support themselves. They have to often, the lead up to getting to Olympics is often a route of going to various competitions around the world. And oftentimes sports like this isn't football or NBA, they have to often flip the bill. And sometimes they might get some funding, but it's never really enough to really cover the whole cost of this. And he's resorted to OnlyFans to make that extra change to kind of support himself. I mean, other sports personalities with a presence on OnlyFans include people like Robbie Manson, Matthew Mitchum, Jack Loffer, and Noah Williams. I'm not sure about their OnlyFans, but like I said, with this particular one, Timo, he's made a point to say that his is suitable for work. Well, then you cut to Kurt Adams. He's a canoeist. And Kurt Adams Rosenthal says he was banned from the upcoming 2028 Olympics over his OnlyFans. His gets a little bit more dicey. Like, why would Timo's be allowed and he's okay, but what's happening over here with Kurt Adams? Well, he's a gay British canoeist, and his dreams of competing in the 2028 Olympics have been cut short. He's 22. He claims the same things that essentially he's had to resort to this. His mother raised him and he supports her, but he also has to get himself through these competitions, and the money that he gets isn't enough. But under his conditions is under the outlet Paddles UK, which is basically an overall organization that helps him get.
Yeah, it's like, where have I heard that before?
Yeah, the Paddles here in New York City.
They do. They
kind of organization. Yeah. Paddles UK, though, is for the umbrella that basically allowed him as a canoeist to be. And they have things in their policy that says things like indecent, offensive, and immoral behavior and on social media are examples of gross misconduct. Gross misconduct under their stipulations are grounds for elimination of them supporting you, and you won't be able to. He said, May 29th interview on BBC, he said that he believes he was penalized for starting an OnlyFans account back in January to help cover the cost of his training expenses. The site often hosts subscription-based explicit content, which Paddles UK may have deemed an instance of gross misconduct. So he added, basically, as an athlete, he receives an annual grant of £16,000. That's about $21,000, but isn't nearly enough. He really has a positive attitude towards this. He is dedicated. He says, I came to the realization about why I started canoeing last winter after 8 years of struggle, years of living on the edge. My mom, working 90 hours a week, have bailiffs at the door. I'm going to find a way where we don't have to struggle, where my mom can enjoy her life, and I'm able to put everything into this sport, because when you're thinking about how to pay rent this month and you're standing at the starting line, that's not very conducive to doing well. So it remains to be seen if he will end up being able to compete. But what do you think about all these Olympian type athletes? I don't want to say professional because they are still amateur, but they're huge, but they're resorting to things like OnlyFans. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but okay, first and foremost, Paddles is taking me out. Every time you said it, I was like just laughing a little bit in my brain because it just means something completely different here. Anywho,
tell people what we're talking about.
Isn't it like a sex club where they paddle you? It's like that, right? I've never been
Well,
before.
okay. So truth be told,
Help me.
it is. We'll just sidebar caveat real quick, and then we'll get to what we're talking about. It was a long-standing after-hours sex club that catered.
Dominatrixes were there?
Yeah, they had that, but
Sub and
also
dom.
then on
Oh.
a Friday, Saturday night, you could just go there and hook up with guys, and it was really fun. I went there a lot. It is a street away from where I live now. It
Oh.
closed during the pandemic under its former owners, obviously for obvious reasons. It has since reopened, but where it used to go till like 5 or 6 in the morning, I think they only do maybe 2 a.m. and it's under new ownership. I have yet to go or know anybody that has gone there, but yeah, it was just
Research. We
a
got to
place.
research.
Yeah, research and development on that one. But how do you weigh in on what we're talking about in
Yes.
this? Yeah.
Complete sidebar. Okay, so yeah, it's a kind of ridiculous, honestly. They won't support the athletes, but then they look down on them when they have to do the things that they have to do in order to not only achieve their dreams, but also to live. And it's just ridiculous. These people, I feel like sex gets demonized a lot. So I think that this is par for the course for a lot of the corporations and the powers that be out there. And I think that by allowing them to actually go to OnlyFans and make money, even if it's safe for work, that can take a lot of the stigma away from sex in general and OnlyFans, because yeah, I know that there are some creators out there on OnlyFans that have safer work content. It's just at the end of the day, OnlyFans is just a tool. So yeah, I think they should let them have OnlyFans. What are they gatekeeping for? And
Yeah, exactly. It just speaks to a larger prudish rollout. I mean, I guess it's not surprising it's the UK, which oftentimes is next in line to America, right? On things of that nature. I mean, I can just speculate as to why, we're still in many parts of the world, we're a product of the UK and at times because it's just, I'm not surprised that we're still seeing this. I'm sure in other parts of the world they could care less, but sex is still one of those areas that people don't want to talk about it. We're going to talk about lube in a little bit here and
my favorite
how
topic.
people are strange and weird about even the mention of lube, and we'll get into it in just a second. But let's move on. But we wish them well. I hope he gets reinstated because it sounds like he's super talented, and it would be awful if he couldn't compete in the 2028 Olympic Games due to this. And he should be able to appeal it. Or at the very least, if he is under this paddles, I'm going to say it again, paddles UK, that he could hopefully appeal it and state his claim. And if they really are hard and fast on that, then maybe give it up for a period of time and start a GoFundMe and
Well,
to make up that extra money that he's currently making on OnlyFans, because I would hope that they would hear him out and not just eliminate him if he's really that good of a canoeist that he could make the games.
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Staying on the UK has decided to roll out the world first gonorrhea vaccine to gay and bisexual men. And the rollout of the vaccine comes amid a surge in cases of the STI, with 85,000 cases of gonorrhea reported in 2023. So I think this is a really good thing because it's the highest number since records began in the year 1918. The rollout of the vaccine is due to begin in August by NHS, and they're also looking to expand it to all over England and Scotland, of course. The vaccine is understood to be only 30 to 40% effective, but remains hopeful if it will help to curb the spike in infections and thus relieve pressure on sexual health clinics. And it comes often as we're seeing these huge surges with gonorrhea within our community, and how antibiotics there's stronger strains of it that we're not combating it. I think this is one more tool that I'm really applauding the UK for rolling out, even though it is only 30 to 40% effective. I mean, I just got back from Africa, and the list of vaccinations that I had to get, malaria pills and so on and so forth. Again, many of these are not 100% effective from protecting me from some of these things that I was potentially going to be close to, but their safety, and I am for, in this case, vaccinations. And I think it is at least looking at our community, at our numbers, at something that is potentially on the surge, gonorrhea, and offering one more tool instead of just prescribing antibiotics that may or may not really be working. What do you say to this?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Vaccines, I'm on the side of vaccines, definitely. I applaud them. They're working for me currently. I didn't get monkeypox, so
Yeah, right.
so I think that they're a good thing, and I think that the UK implementing this is only going to help. And like you said, 30% may not be a huge number, but it will help stem the tide of it.
Offer valid on standard browsers, US only.
When I heard about Date My Age, I thought, really? But there I was in my empty, quiet house, my laptop on the kitchen counter, and I typed in my name. Looking for a man between the ages of 40 to 60? Sure, why not?
Date My Age is different. With verified profiles, you can feel safe and secure to explore meaningful connections with interesting and mature singles.
Date My Age made it really easy. I could join and view online profiles for free. All of a sudden, my empty house wasn't so quiet anymore. I got so much attention, it just made me feel seen and alive. Date My Age helped me start a totally new chapter in my life.
Find a friend, a lover, a partner at Date My Age. Get 60% off when you join at datemyage.com today. That's datemyage.com to connect with thousands of singles worldwide. datemyage.com.
The gonorrhea outbreak that could potentially happen over there. So yeah, I think it's a good thing with this and DoxyPep and PrEP and all the things. I think that a lot of people are going to be protected. So I think it's a good thing.
Absolutely. It would be great if we could see some of these make our way over here in America, but at least the UK is leading on this one. Okay, well, I was struck recently when I hadn't heard this term in a long time, but one of the hotels, I believe it was the Hotel George, hello gorgeous, that it was an adorable, quaint hotel, and I was looking on the sink and they had all kinds of great soaps and gels that you could use, and it was just one of those, adorable boutique hotels. Had a great rooftop that we loved, but when I was brushing my teeth, I was looking down and I couldn't help but think, oh my God, there's an intimacy kit. Do you know what an intimacy kit is, Cody?
No, but I'm very excited to find out, darling.
My sister didn't know either. I felt like, why do I know about this? But back years ago in the 90s, there was a guy that I was hanging out with for a while, a super sexy model. And he had told me that he had grabbed an intimacy kit. And I was like, what's that? And he educated me. He was a model traveling all the world. And he had said, oh, you don't know what that is? I said, no. He said, they're basically kits that somehow hotels will provide that will be complete with condoms. They seem to be geared a little bit more towards the heterosexual community. Some of them will go as far to have, lubrication, which we can all use, which is really great. But they'll have even things like little feathers, massage oils. I mean, we can all use those. Yeah. And there's an interesting article that I'll post on tagspodcast.com called Unveiling Intimacy Kits. My sister was so intrigued that she decided to look it up. A peek inside romantic hotel amenities, and where did the concept delve from, and the why, what's included in them, why some hotels carry them over others is all included in this article. We don't have enough time to get into all of it, but I hadn't seen one in so long since the 90s or even talked about it. Many of us now, obviously, as we know in our community, maybe didn't even need an intimacy kit. If you look at this article or read this article, it's decided for a lot of travelers to encourage intimacy. As gay men, we don't really need that encouragement. We're ready to go. We come prepared. We bring our travel size lube, our everything ready to go. We're on prep, most of us, or various versions of that. And we've got our DoxyPep in our little carry-on bag as well, ready to go
Locked
too.
and
Guess we have
loaded.
too much fun. But I mean, I was looking at it and I thought, oh, okay. I mean, what do you think of this concept of an intimacy kit? Do you think it's strictly for the straights? And what are your thoughts on it?
No, I think it's fantastic. Even our gay brethren and our lesbian lady friends can benefit from this as well, because intimacy, it can pop up anywhere, and I feel like sometimes it's a little bit of work, and sometimes it can be spontaneous. But I think that a kit and having it ready and ready to go, I think that that's only a benefit. I can only see this as a positive thing. I definitely carry lube with me almost everywhere I go.
I love it. Yeah. Well, speaking of lube, the internet apparently recently has been so weird about lube because everybody has been questioning people like my favorite Halle Berry, who on Mother's Day decided to tell us what she was doing with her boo, her man. And she showed up little bottle of lube, and that's how she was getting her momminess on Mother's Day. But then there was the gays that were talking about lube, and one by the name of Bucky Ellish goes, no lube, no protection, all night, all day, from the kitchen floor to the toilet seat, from the dining table to the bedroom, from the bathroom sink to the shower, from the front porch to the balcony, vertically, horizontally, quadric, exponential, which could really speak to our gay male counterpart that, we'll do it wherever. We don't need that intimacy kit. The part about the no lube part, I get the no protection currently if you're on certain things like I am, PrEP, but Dr. Goldstein would highly disagree on the no lube part, and I need plenty of lube when I'm having my fun.
It can only help.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned, Halle Berry was out and proud of it. There was one DJ who's gay, DJ James Anthony, who decided to document when he was recently at an airport browsing the CVS vending machine at the airport when he noticed a mega-sized bottle of lubricant available for purchase. Quote, like, what could you possibly be doing in an airport terminal that you're going to pay an insane markup for a bottle of lube? He asked his followers before pointing out they had option. What's crazier is that the machine has two different brands. You could get Astroglide or you could get Wet Platinum, he explained. Me personally, I'm a Wet Platinum girl, but it's nice to know now that when it comes to the airport, I have options. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like in the end he came around, but I think, what airport were you at? I want to applaud this airport. Okay, yeah, San Francisco, Berlin. Yeah, exactly. Places like that. But I'm here for that. I even love that you have options. Of course, you're going to spend a premium at the airport. I mean,
when you need it, you need it, right?
Yeah. But I love
anytime, any place.
Yeah, and what could you possibly be doing? I mean, you could be having fun in the airport itself, but you could also just be, oh, damn, I forgot the lube. And yes, you could probably get it where you're going, but maybe you're going to somewhere remote that won't have it. Why not just get it there? I like that that's a smart business tactic for companies like Astroglide and Wet Platinum that chose to put theirs in that CVS. The craziest thing about it was a CVS vending machine. And when you go to CVS these days, you have to press that button to come to aisle 4 to come get your deodorant.
The worst.
The only thing I can say is the only button you're pressing is the one for yourself. Some terminal worker is not going to come and have to say, oh, Astroglide. Somebody's getting Astroglide, and yeah,
I need the key for the Astroglide case, please.
Exactly. Why are people so weirded out about lube? And
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a strange thing to be weirded out about. Again, it's there to help you. That's what it's there for. It's there to make everything slide in and get nice and lubricated
And
and slip and
moist.
slidery and moist and delicious. But yeah, I think that keep those lube down plays away from me, because I think that it's fantastic. Actually, I have two stories and they both relate to this. So the first one's
Yes,
a little bit
go.
short. The other day I went over some guy's house and we had sex, of course, but he didn't use any lube, and I was so weirded out about it. And he said we don't need it, and I was like, okay. And
Did he want spit? Did he
he
use?
spit on it. He spit on it. But then it was pretty moist down there. I guess maybe his booty makes some juices down there that I'm not privy to, that mine doesn't do. But it was okay. I was still weirded out, and I don't think that it got in my head a little bit. So also, go ahead.
Well, two things on that last one that you just said, and then we'll get to your second story. The one thing that he may have not told you was that, and I've done this trick before, girl.
Okay.
He could have pre-lubed. So
That's true.
he could have been. So one of the things that Dr. Goldstein always says, if you know you're gonna, he could have been playing with himself, opening up, relaxing that, because it's a muscle, people.
Uh-huh.
Relaxing that, and then also using lube. So he could have already been pre-lubed. You can there's certain contraptions out there that look like a syringe that you fill with the lube, and then you syringe that up your ass.
Yeah.
You said it was moist, so maybe it was already pre-lubed. Who knows?
Or somebody was there before me. You never know.
Or that.
Might have passed them in the stairwell.
But you definitely, I just think, if you're like having fun, I've talked so much to Dr. Goldstein about this, and for safety concerns, to just maintain for the long haul, because you just want to protect your area, your ass region. Lube is really necessary and needed, and yeah, it's just a good thing. So, but what was your second story?
Second story. The lube in the airport would have came in very handy when I was coming back from Kansas this recent last year in March.
Oh no, Dorothy.
Because when I was in the airport, not in the Kansas airport, it was a bigger one. I think it was Chicago. I had never been in that airport before. So I was like, let me see who's on Grindr, who's on Scruff. And I had one of the hottest encounters I had ever had. We went into a stall. The airport was so packed. And then, we did what we needed to do. And then we came out. There was like a line of people waiting for the bathroom.
Oh my. Did you fuck him?
Yeah, I fucked him in the bathroom.
Wow.
In the stall. It was very hot. He was very hot, and I'll never forget that experience. I don't even know his name.
That's really hot. And you see these stories online all the time, or Twitter. And I do think domestically, he was an American, right?
Oh yeah, he was an American.
Yeah, I think domestically, I say this because like on a domestic flight, oftentimes maybe you're either going on a 2-hour flight, you're in the time zone region. So my point where I'm getting to is you're fairly fresh, right?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine doing this internationally. My sister and I just flew. Oh my gosh, it was like the whole experience was 22 hours. Wow. When we got to Nairobi airport, there was no air conditioning in that airport. Honey, we were schwitzing and sweating and all that stuff. We didn't have enough time really to get to have that kind of fun, but nobody would want to be around me at that time. I was like, yeah, that's what I mean, right? So like if you're doing long haul
sweaty
flight,
and musty and not in the best shape, definitely. We've all been there.
I can keep it together on a long haul flight, and I've got backup deodorant, but let's not get down to that region. It's just not gonna. Do not go south below there at this time. Warning. But yeah, if it's domestic, I could see those are fantasies, and I'm glad you were able to do that. Hot.
I know. I wanted to do it, so I've wanted to do this for so bad, and I've wanted to do like sex on the plane too. Ooh, let's go on a flight, somebody. We're gonna go into the bathroom on the plane, but we need
not in those bathrooms.
I mean, it's a fantasy. That's what fantasies are all about. And
I need it on a private jet. Plane, but not on a commercial liner. No, thank you, ma'am.
It's all about being public. I think that's part of it for me. I feel like it would be too private if it was on a private plane. I'm gonna be like, it's just the stewardess would know. No, I want everybody on the plane to know. Is that weird?
It isn't. Oh, real quick sidebar, since you're sharing stories, I didn't
Let's
do
go.
anything with this one, but when we would go to the bush, we had to, in Africa, to get to the camps, we had to go on these small planes, and they were kind of scary at first, but we had the same pilot heading out there and then coming back to Johannesburg. He was
Mm-hmm.
French. He was, oh my God, he had the biggest hands ever, and he was this beautiful specimen of a man, and we were compacted in this tiny plane. He had to like crawl over us almost to get to his cockpit, and the whole time I was staring at his hands. I had just had so many fantasies about him because he was so hot. But and a man in uniform, which Diego would love. I need to tell him about that. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
there was no room though. He was flying the plane, and we were just praying that we made it there
Can
in
you
two pieces.
imagine?
Yeah, in one piece. But yeah.
There's
Oh my
autopilot for a reason. You could have cut on the autopilot.
Exactly. Oh my God. Okay. There is a story that I wanted to see how you weighed in. I heard
Okay.
it, I saw it with my sister, and I was like, huh. And you might be surprised on how I weighed in on this, but there's been outrage as a teen who was banned from school over wearing a t shirt that said only two genders. He has been trying to appeal this, but they won't hear it. But it's a school in Massachusetts where he's in seventh grade, Cody. And there is a picture of him being shot with his parents that seem to be supporting it. They have his hands around his shoulders, wearing that "there's only two genders" t-shirt. He was sent home and for wearing that t-shirt. And basically, the Supreme Court declined to hear Liam Morrison's appeal, upholding a district court's decision, siding with Nichols Middle School in Middleborough, Massachusetts, which is a suburb outside of Boston. For reference, basically, the First Circuit Court ruled that the school had the right to prohibit students' viewpoints if they were harmful, citing that the message was offensive to transgender students. But what about free speech, is what I say. And there was a similar student at this school that had basically encouraged transgender, and they were allowed, I think they had the transgender flag, and they were allowed to stay in school. Now, I mean, one could argue that maybe his t-shirt caused distress to
Yeah.
certain people in the school, but he wasn't fighting what happened to free speech. I mean, I think where I go on this is, if we're going to get so nitty gritty with this kind of stuff, then if I think about when I went to school, I had to wear a uniform. It was like a white polo shirt, corduroy blue jeans, and a cardigan sweater. And all of that stuff just was left at home. It was a Catholic private school, but we avoided all this. If we're going to get like, okay, you can wear this, but you can't wear that. He wasn't starting a fight. He simply had this on his t-shirt. How do you weigh in? Because the way I weigh in, and I don't think it was right that he was sent home.
Oh wow.
Because I think then we start getting into freedom of speech.
I hear that. And I see your point. However, I do feel like this person's t-shirt, this kid he's in the seventh grade, or is he
Yes.
7? I'm sorry. So he's what, like 12
12.
or something like that?
Yes.
First of all, he doesn't know what there is out there because he's 12. His parents probably told him this, and they no. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say it. They probably didn't pass school either. So I do think that it's a very limited statement to be on there. And basically, this t-shirt erases people's existence. Actual people that are living out there in the world that know that there are more than just two genders. So I could see how the freedom of speech could be argued, but I believe in my heart of hearts that it is inflammatory to say these types of things, even though it's going on in the presidency right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he's basically protected by our current administration right now, who basically said the same thing. He's simply repeating that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go with that in there. He did later return to the school with the tape over his shirt that read "censored." He was asked to take the shirt off once again. So it basically said there are, and then instead of two genders, a tape mark over "censored" and genders. And yeah, so he was schooled for that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I feel like the solution is very. It's going to take a lot of work. I don't know. I don't know if you can even really talk to the people that think like that, or if they're even going to hear you. So I don't know what the solution is, because they're going to think what they want to think, and they're not going to be open to. They're very close-minded when it comes to sexuality and gender, because all they know is themselves. They don't know about gender expressions of other people. They're narcissistic in a certain way or a certain manner, because they can't think outside of the box of their own gender and their own sexuality. So
I agree. It's offensive. It's awful that probably his parents influenced him on this. But if you're going to allow certain things, he wasn't spewing out verbally homophobic rhetoric to anybody in particular.
the whole T-shirt was transphobic.
It was, but it's the current viewpoint of say our presidency, and it is as a T-shirt. So now we can't wear what T-shirt we want, and in other words, he wasn't inflicting any verbal or actual attacks on anybody, but it was a T-shirt. I mean, under that, I say when we start monitoring what people wear, and I say if it's going to come down to this, then nobody, just make the school at a certain age group, at least, before you hit high school, that you cannot wear any logoed or T-shirts with statements on. Just make that the rule then, because I think it's censorship. And while I obviously don't agree with it at all, I think
you believe in free speech.
I believe in free speech, and he is voicing what the current administration is saying, and they can say it there. It's just like sending him home. I just think it's a slippery slope, and
I hear
we
what
need
you're
to
saying.
figure that out.
Yeah, I definitely see your point of view, but I am on the other side. I think that the T-shirt in and of itself is kind of the attack, because
Yeah,
I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep talking. So let me, because I'm a little sleepy from this weekend.
I hear ya.
And my biting wit is coming to fruition in my brain right now. So, and it will come out of my mouth because I'm sleepy. So we're gonna move on, if you don't mind.
Well, we love to give advice on this show, and today is no different. And this one comes from Reddit, and the tagline is "Sexual Awakening Slut Phase at 40." Oh no, is that the one I wanted to do? Did you like that one?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Sexual Awakening Slut Phase at 40.
That one was good. What was the other one though?
My roommate has 3 to 4 random hookups a day. Come over and no job. Am I overreacting? Or is it selfish to want monogamy?
I know that's the one I feel like we're trying to do, but we only
let's do that one then.
Let's do it. And I was going to say we only have 5 minutes, but we can make this as long as we want, right? We're not on a time limit.
Okay, we'll do that. Is it selfish to want monogamy? So me and my friends, 2 gay men, 1 bi woman, and 1 straight woman, are having random food coma-induced conversations on the dinner table. Out of nowhere, one of my friends asked, "What would you do if your partner asked you about his desire to explore open relationships?" Quick background: I am 30s bi who is currently single. They said, I don't like it. I might even end our relationship. Somebody said, why, at the table. this person said, because it only shows that I'm not enough for him and we are wasting each other's time if both of us will stay. Somebody said, that's actually selfish and self-centered for you to stay. Somebody said, how so? Because you think that you're some sort of perfect messiah to him that can provide everything that he wants. Besides, it's a win-win for you. You get to keep him while he's being satisfied as well. After giving the conversation some thoughts long after they left, it got me thinking, is it really selfish of me to hope and desire to be enough for my hypothetical boyfriend that he doesn't have to look for someone else to fill the gaps of my imperfections? Well, I think it's that last bit. If I was to give my take, I don't think you have imperfections. I think if they pick you, they pick you. I'm currently in a situation where we love each other so much. We love our sex together too. But we've played together with a third here and there. I told my fiance while I was away for almost 3 weeks that if he happened to have a little bit of fun while I was away, which I think he only did once, that he told me what it was. I'm okay with that. And it's just sex. But I think you have to really, in the words of my friend Kyle, who is, one of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgences, is a friend here on the show, that you have to really establish your relationship first and have that solid background before you parlay into opening the relationship up. But for me, it's just about sex at times. If you can just keep it about sex and you can keep the honesty going, then you should be okay. It might require a little bit more time and conversation, but at least the way my relationship works, when I'm in town, that sounds funny, but he's super busy. I'm busy. When we have free time, we're together. There isn't a lot of time to even explore that. We want to be together. We want to have sex together. And so the few times that would come up is few and far between, but you just have to communicate. What do you say?
Well, yeah, I relate to this because I am definitely a monogamous person. And I think for me, a lot of it was rooted in what this poster was talking about not feeling like I'm enough, and the insecurity that was surrounded from that. So I think that those feelings are completely valid. So I don't think we should delegitimize those things or look down on them, because they are human responses that come up in any type of relationship. Monogamous, open relationships, you can feel like you're not enough, and jealousy does occur in these types of relationships. It's just about how you deal with that jealousy and how you, like you said, communicate with your partner. So I definitely see what they're talking about, especially because when I was younger, that is how monogamy became my preferred way of being in a relationship. But I think over time, it's kind of changed my perspective on this, because my mind is opened up. I feel like I played around in my brain with the thought of having an open relationship, and I have been in relationships where we weren't together, but we were like in a middle limbo phase, and we definitely played with other people in that type. And that's something I feel like I would never have done before when it was rooted in fear. Go ahead, were you going to say something?
Just that I agree with you that it's not often those feelings come up for all of us. Those feelings of I'm not enough. Those, like this Redditor is stating, that you stated, that I have felt as well. Those feelings, jealousy for sure. But I think the stronger the relationship is, you start to have these conversations, these intimate conversations at various times. You end up having to have them more often than not, which is a good thing on how you're feeling. And yeah, I don't think it's something that you just jump into, because it's never going to be 100%, and everybody kind of finds their way if they are going to go down this route. You can also go down this route a little bit and decide, okay, no, I'm not into it anymore, and shut it off. But you have to really kind of be secure with your relationship and continue those conversations. But the feelings are valid. I mean,
Totally.
with the amount of stories that we do or advice of people really trying to find that soulmate, that person, and then you finally find them, and then it's like, oh shit, now we have to open it up, and I'm risking losing this person, or I'm risking like they're gonna like this person more. It can be a cluster mind fuck for so many people, and I get that because I have been there. I just think I've stayed in this long enough and I understand a little bit, but it's never an easy road, and everybody finds their own way, or they don't, and they just keep monogamy going, and that's beautiful too. And there's all kinds of different ways of approaching it, and everybody's is valid, and it can change all the time, and that's beautiful too. I think that's the evolution of sexuality, is that just because you try something this week or now doesn't mean you're stuck with that, and it does force you to communicate a lot more, which that part of it I really like.
Oh, definitely.
It keeps you in the game, as they say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and speaking a little bit more about monogamy, I still feel like I want a monogamous relationship, but I don't think it's based out of fear or insecurity anymore. I feel like when I'm in a relationship, the way that I show love or the way that I express myself sexually, it's with one person. And I feel like that's valid. I feel like when I'm in a relationship, I just want that one person. Like, I can look at other guys, I can find them all attractive. But for me, the way that I express my love and my sexuality and all of those things is I just want one person. And you know what? Flirting is okay too. I think that's fantastic because, like this poster was saying, or like this poster's friend was saying, it's very selfish to think that you can get all of your needs in one place.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Because you're not a perfect person. Now, for me, my sexual needs will be fulfilled with my partner, hypothetically, as it stands now. Who knows down the road? But like flirting, you can flirt with other people, your friendships that are out there, that they fill in certain parts that your partner doesn't fill in. And I think all of those things are valid. So I think it's just about perspective, like you were saying, and how you fit in to a relationship, or whether it be sexual or platonic or a romantic partnership.
Right. And people that do have open relationships, they all look differently too. I mean, there's people that are barely ever do it, but once in a while. There's some that only do it together. I mean, we could spend the whole show talking about the various iterations of it. They are less on. Those people can still be incredibly in love with their partner, and it is no less love than, say, somebody that chooses only exclusive monogamy as well. They just, and so it's just, but everybody has to kind of come to their own conclusion and be open to it, because you might surprise yourself because you're working with somebody that's new and different. And so that's exciting. So anyways, good conversations. I'm sure this is one that we will continue to have for the long haul of this show, for sure. Oh my gosh, I could continue. We'd like just the two of us over an hour.
We're used to doing this. This is a Wednesday night for us.
Exactly, which is a great reminder that we are live every Wednesday night. And we want some of you to kind of join us. I know you listen to, I know you all know we do 2 shows a week, but the Wednesday show is live. It drops, of course, on Thursday, but it's really a lot of fun for those that do join us live, because we've got a comment section and many of you are weighing in as we go with the hot topics, and we get to hear a lot about what you say. So if you happen to be free on this Wednesday, as every Wednesday, we are live from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 to 7 Pacific Time, and we'll let you figure it out if you're somewhere else in the world. But we're live on the Crowdcast platform. You can grab the link by going to tagspodcast.com and click on Tags Live, or go to our social media accounts where we list it the day of the event. And you can follow Cody. He lists it at Mr. Maurice on Instagram at Mr. Maurice. It's also his Blue Sky account at Mr. Maurice. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V, or go to my X or Blue Sky account at Tags Podcast. Go to tagspodcast.com for show notes. Don't forget about our Patreon page community where you can support us at patreon.com/tags podcast. And in the meantime, Cody, so much fun.
So much fun.
Continue having hot
Hot
gay
gay
sex.